Welcome to the Schmitter's 100 Acre Woods. If this is your first time, welcome. And if not, thank you for coming back. So today we are working on getting the remainder of the siding on the grill shack, grill pavilion. So we've gone through, we've gotten it sealed. So we did that in between, have all the metal up. So here I'm getting all the 2x4s cut that we will actually use to attach the bevel siding. So got all the measurements, have those, and we're actually going to go ahead and seal these before getting them put up, just because it's a whole lot easier to do beforehand. So here we just set up some sawhorses inside, since the weather's kind of been unpredictable rain-wise. And this is the stain sealer that we're using. So we're going with a natural color, wanted to keep as much of the natural look of the poplar as possible. Obviously darkens it a little bit, but still keeps it much lighter than some of the other stains. So you can see, got it all sealed. And have that all complete. Okay, we got all the 2x4s cut to put across to be able to nail the siding to. So we need to put 2 here, 1 for the top and the bottom. And then we're going to do every foot going up here so we have something to attach to. And then 2 here. Because here we'll just need like a piece, 1 piece, and then I think it was like 4.5 to 5 pieces going up the back to cover. So that's kind of what we're working with right now. We got those boards cut so we can put those up, and then we're going to work on unbinding the siding so that we can see what we have there, and see if we can get pieces out of it that are about 7 feet long and just shy of 8 feet long. So here's the siding, laid it out. We tried to cut off any of the bigger splits so we just have what we're going to use, and moved over, and here's just kind of a look at getting those put up. Just a time lapse, just going through, putting one right down at the bottom and then another one up 12 inches. That gives us a little bit of room because our siding is about 13 inches wide. Ended up pre-drilling most of this before putting it up, just so that it didn't have to have any issues with splitting at the ends. Some of the stuff we've had some issues with, not too bad, but just didn't want to risk it, so ended up pre-drilling all of this before running some screws in. It's one of those things that only takes a minute to do and can save some heartache of having to redo stuff. We have all of our boards put up here. So I did this on the outside. We'd be able to have some place to screw to along here so that it's nice and secure. So this is across the back. And on that side, again, we went 12 inches because our boards are about 13. So with the overlap and everything, it gives plenty of space to be able to attach. Like I said earlier, getting the board stained now, so we'll have, I think, 4 of them done, so we'll be able to get the 2 sides and get a couple on the back, and then get the other one sealed and finish out the back. And then we have been working on some corner pieces, obviously not cut the length or anything, but just kind of setting it up there. It's kind of what it's going to look like, and it will just be that one height tall, because I want the rest of it open for I'm gonna stay up there. But anyway, so what I was saying is I want it to be only so high, so like if I keep going up higher, it would block the griddle and just your view looking out. So have those on the opposing sides and the table on the back.
But we will go ahead and do the entire back just because here you're looking toward the neighbors and that tree. So I think closing in the back would be best and kind of give it a nice look. So I can work on cutting these down to length and get it attached, and kind of look up, do a little bit more research about attaching bevel siding just because I've never done that before. Exactly how we want to do that. Right now I have it so that it goes all the way up. Basically it's a 4x4 cutout, so it'll pocket in and it'll kind of go in like this, and then the wood will come up to it on one side and then on the other. But since we're only going up one of these high, we'll have to kind of modify it so you don't need trim then after this on this part, but we'll need it back there. So we'll have to kind of mess with that and see how exactly we want that to look and get it put up. So that'll actually be the next thing, is getting those trim pieces put on the corners so that you can then put the siding up to that trim. And then we'll have to figure out exactly what we want to do. If we're going to just put a piece of this on the front, or if we're going to make another separate piece of trim, which we may end up doing. And it'll just be, you know, the 13 inches high, or about 12 inches high that this is. Here's what we got figured out for the corners. So we ended up cutting it, since you'd be seeing it from mainly the front. Kind of hide this. We may end up putting a piece here, but have something to butt up to here, and then have this butt up to all the way up. So we're going to work on getting some of those boards on the back since we have everything. And we just need to get a corner piece over there so we have something to butt up to over there.
So since we have everything we need for the back, we go ahead and start there. So we want it to be pretty snug, so we end up cutting it a couple times. We measured and cut right on, and ended up having to trim just a little bit. And then since we did fresh cut edges, we went ahead and put just a little bit of paint on before we went ahead and put it up. So typically whenever you put up this bevel siding, you just put one screw in it just above the first piece that you put in as you go up. Because we just put the 2x4s up, we ended up just running little screws in and holding it across the top and the bottom. So across the top we're going into the 2x4, and then across the bottom we're pinning the two together. There's some talk about if you do an entire house you don't want to do this because it will grow and shrink. Well, these have been sitting out for a while, so it should be pretty dry. And then here we're just running through and getting everything put together across the top one. So we ended up just doing the 4 across the back, and now getting the sides done. So we ended up putting little corner pieces in and getting the side put on, and then we do the same thing on the other side. We go just one high, so get a square edge, and then we have to do a couple cuts over here as well to get it to fit, and then just run and put some screws in it to hold it up.
So it's taken a little bit to get to this point, but finally have all the wood on the grill pavilion. So kind of show you what we ended up doing. So we ended up putting 4 boards on the back. It leaves a little bit of a gap. So we haven't quite decided. So we're going to put a little piece here. You'd see we'd have to cut and notch for the rafters. So we may just kind of leave it open for now. It leaves just a little gap there. And then on the sides, we just did the one high. So I'll put the grill pavilion up here. I'll put the griddle over here. And then the grill will go on this side. So kind of what we're seeing. And then from the inside, this is what it looks like. So from the front side looking back, you can't really tell about the back piece there, just with the 4x4 and everything. So it doesn't look too bad. I need to get everything picked up in here. We painted these sides. We ended up doing kind of these smaller sides here, just since we only have one thickness. Instead of like a full 4x4, this is just an inch thick to kind of help hide that there. And just came around and did the same on this side, just so whenever you look from it from the front, it kind of looks uniform and everything. And it's such a small spot there that we probably won't put a little piece of siding. just because I think that would look kind of even funnier than just kind of leaving it how it is. But we do have some scraps, so if we change our mind, can do that. And anyway, we get this cleaned up now. We had some wet paint yesterday, so I didn't want to get the blowgun out or the blower out and get this all blown off, but should be able to do that now. And I can get the grill moved in here and get it undercover, same with the griddle, and it'll free up some space in the garage. And I've been throwing around some ideas on what I want to do for the front up here. So I want to put some letters or something. First I was thinking about painting, but I kind of was thinking we have a whole bunch of walnut that we can mill up, and thought it may be neat to put like grill pavilion or something like that in letters cut out of walnut, just because it really kind of pop against that lighter color, and put something on that to really bring out the darkness of the walnut. So may end up doing that, haven't decided. May take the scroll saw and kind of cut those out. We'd have to cut some wood first, so haven't quite figured out what I'm going to do there, but thought that would be kind of a neat look to have that name there and utilize that bigger spot that we had to do to cover everything. So anyway, finally have this complete, so I'll kind of wrap up the grill pavilion. There'll be some small touches that we'll do. I did buy some lights to put in here, and we have power right inside the building here at this corner, so we'll be able to come out and get down and just do like a short little run. We have some of that direct berry wire left, so we'd pretty easily be able to kind of come around, come probably to this corner and kind of put it back there. Probably put just like an outlet that we could plug stuff into back there. It'd be protected by the roof and kind of being in that corner, so we could come in with an LB, right at the ground, whether we come up and go through the wood or just kind of cut a hole in the metal there, and then can bring it up against that 4x4, and then probably prefer to go on the inside. Since I had metal all the way down, we may even be able to put the outlet kind of down there. The griddle that I have does have a built-in air fryer, so it needs to be plugged in for that to work. So maybe we'll put it there and then just run a short extension cord for the lights. Because I think for the lights, what I want to do is go around the outside and then kind of go back and forth inside, since it'll be I think it's a fairly long strand. So it's kind of what I'm thinking of doing, and this has turned out to be a pretty entertaining project, and has been nice to get this wrapped up, and will be a nice little area to be able to utilize to cook some meals.
Thank you for watching the Schmitter's 100 Acre Woods while we wrap up the Grill Pavilion project. Have some finishing touches put on. Stay tuned for other projects we have on the horizon. So hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to keep following along.